Hey everyone, thanks for learning to play games. My name is Lance, and today I'll be doing an unboxing video for D6. Yeah, when this, it's a blue die, and it's got some different coloring in it, numbered 1 to 6. Seems to be weighted pretty good. Rolls, well, that's a 5, nice. Yeah, that's all I got. Not much of an unboxing, but it's a cool die. No, I'm just kidding. Actually going to be doing an unboxing video today for D6, the brand new game from Certifiable Studios, which stands for Dungeons, Dudes, Dames, Danger, Dice, and Dragons. Try to say that one 10 times fast. And this is going to be a 1 to 4 player game that takes roughly 2 hours to play and is a competitive game, but also is going to have modes that you can play for solo and cooperative. And for those of you that backed the Kickstarter, you also have picked up the expansion, and it all came in this really cool, really heavy, really thick sleeve that is really nice. And so in this video, I'm going to be doing an unboxing for both the core game, the expansion, and then there was also a couple of small expansion packs you could buy in the Kickstarter for Team Kraken and Eaters of the Dead. So I'll be doing an unboxing for those at the end of the video as well. Other than that, I will be working on some videos in the future for this. I'll be doing a full teaching video for the competitive mode, the main mode in the game, and I will also probably be doing some playthrough videos. I'll try to do a playthrough for the competitive mode, and of course for my new solo series, I'll be doing a video covering the solo mode in that as well, and maybe even throwing a cooperative mode in there. Let me know in the comments below what you guys would like to see, what you're interested in seeing for coverage, if there are certain things that you would like me to take a look at further, or if you have any questions at all, drop those in the comment section. Like I said, I will also be doing a teaching video for it, but that is going to take place a little bit down the road. If you would like to know more about that, I did a channel update that kind of fills in all the details on new videos I'm working on and the status of everything with the channel. So also check that out. I'll have a link up in the top corner. As always, if you find these videos helpful, if you like what I do, please consider that like button and subscribe to my channel. It really does help. It helps support channels like mine so we can continue to grow and get new content and show off all the cool new stuff for you. So let's head to the table and I'll show you what's in the box. So let's go ahead and start with the core game. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this open and see what's inside. All right, so right off the bat, there is the rule book, and this is a heavy rule book. I mean, as you can see, there is a ton of content in here. So let's take a look and see what is in here. So we have the table of contents. So we have some introductions to the world of D6, GM events, and it breaks down. There's a considerable amount of stuff there. So I don't know if this provides the ability for a GM to be played in this or not. There's a create your own area, it looks like, so you'll get to make your own adventures. There's some fiction, so some backstory and stuff, it looks like, and character descriptions. And then it goes down to a list of contents, so that's nice. And then finally the rules, and as you can see, the rules start on page 136, and then they kind of go all the way through to roughly 177, or maybe a little bit less, because they have components and concepts, other game modes, and expansions and homebrews. So actually it looks like it'll start at 137 and maybe go to 160 or somewhere in there. So not too bad, but we'll take a look at that later on. And just a lot of really nice illustrations as well. I love the art style with this. The artist Jesse really has a very unique style to his type of art, and I just love some of the work that he does. It's really, really cool and unique. I would have loved to see some miniatures for this game as far as the characters are concerned. Unfortunately, there's just so many that it would have been unrealistic price-wise, I think, to make them, but it would have been really neat to see models of these different characters as well. That would have been really cool. All right, and let's just take a quick look at some of the rules. So again, a lot of art in there, so that's good. So even though there is a good number of pages, a lot of it is going to be art that's going to fill that in just to help break things up a little bit as well. So hopefully as I get into the teaching video for this, the rules aren't too bad, and we'll find out as I do that. Then on the side, there's all these plastic 3D tokens. So I believe these are for the characters. Each one of the players will have a different one, and these are really nicely made. There's a good amount of detail and design in these. And then possibly some terrain features. We have some trees. It looks like some mountains in there. Hills with fencing, potentially, and then a graveyard, which is really cool. I got all these little gravestones in there and stuff, and then these little wall sections with chains in that. So I don't know, maybe these are like capture tokens or something, but I'll find out once we get into the rules a little bit more. And then you have all these different boards, and as you can see, there's a pretty good amount of thickness to this as far as the cardboard's concerned. My only complaint is, and this has been this way with some of the other games that Certifiable Studios have done, they do these layer boards where you can place tokens in there, which is awesome. I love that feature. But I wish that the secondary backing was thicker, as this is a really thin material, and especially if it gets exposed to any type of water or anything, which obviously board games are horrible with that anyways. But it just very, very flimsy. I would have loved to see that be just a little bit thicker. So hopefully maybe that'll be something they can look at down the road as they continue to make games. Other than that, I love these boards. I love the cutouts and that. It really makes things easy, and it holds everything really well. And then we have another board here that has all these different types of things. There's a dial here where you'll be placing a dial piece, and then the board itself, and this is a double layered board. So let me pan this out. This is the main board, and this is the board you'd start with, and then on the back side is a more difficult, challenging board, and it also has a different artistic feel, kind of like the players drew their own boards and made things, and you got the sticky notes and all kinds of stuff on there. So kind of a more fun board, but I've heard that according to the rules, this one is a harder board as well. So underneath that, we have the wooden pieces that kind of look like Scrabble board pieces, but they have the numbers on them, and they look pretty nice. Let's pull some out here, take a look at these. So pretty nice wood pieces. It looks like the numbering is inlaid a little bit and colored, so looks like these will hold up really nice, and they have different numbers on each side, 5s and 6s and whatnot, and then you have the lower numbers there. We have 2 sets of dice that come with the 6 different dice, D4, D6, D8, D10, D12, and D20. And then this is for the heroes side and the enemies side. And then the tile, or that token that goes on here, I believe, and it's got the little knob that goes on there, and this will rotate around with that token in there. And then I did get the coin as well, which is really cool. And I believe you can probably just toss it in there because it's exactly the same with the same kind of images on there. So I guess you could use the coin in here as well. But this is a really cool coin, as you guys can see. It's got all the different diagrams on there that one does. And then on the back side, it's the game itself with all the different names of the D6 on there. And then going on the side here are all the different tokens and colors broken down. So each player will have 3 of those and 2 of the little potion bottles. And these are really cool. They are really, really cool looking little designs there. And everything is laid out really nice. And another thing that I want to mention that is really nice on this, and I'll show you this in a minute, is that on the sides of the board, of the box, is a breakdown of where all these components go, which is really great. I love it when games do this, as there's sometimes, and this one came with all this stuff already in place, which is great, but sometimes you have to put some of these things together and put things out. So this is a huge help, and I hope that more companies take notice of that. The only other complaint that I did have is that these pull-out trays are very flimsy material. It would have been great to see some thicker plastic for these, as you're going to be pulling these in and out to get at the different components, and they're going to keep everything organized so it's not something that you're just going to throw away. Underneath that, we have all the different player boards. So each player is going to receive their own board, and this again is what I'm talking about. This stuff is really flimsy on this little piece here. This is nice and thick again, but as you can see, like, this is just really flimsy, and that's one of the only complaints I had for the production value on this game. So again, each player is going to have their own player board based on the color again. And then they're also going to have a gather board. And I guess each one of these is going to have some small differences in some of the different things, but they all are basically roughly equal. So each player is just simply going to receive one. You don't have to really go through and pick one specifically per player. Underneath that is each one of the card decks. So there's 4 different card decks. We have bounty cards, and again, I haven't gotten into the rules yet, so I don't know about all of these different cards and what they do, but each one of them has all kinds of different artwork and features on it, as you can see. Really cool. And then we go into heroic quests. Again, love the art style, just a fun, kind of carefree art style. Some really funny stuff on it. That's awesome. Love it. Very cool. Yeah, just such a fun art style with all these. Okay. Moving on, we have the adventure cards. And again, these look like some of the weapons you can potentially get with different dice that you may roll based on the different types of weapons and that you'll be able to hopefully get throughout the games. And some other advantage cards and whatnot, so cool. And then finally we have alliance cards. So again, let's see what these have. Looks like maybe some choices that have to be made or things like that. So we'll get into some of that more during the teaching video again. And finally, the final set are the hero cards, and each player is going to choose their hero, and there's each one of the heroes has like a little animal on the side and talks about like a natural D4. Again, I don't know what that means yet, but it looks pretty cool, and there's just, again, really cool artwork with these. Really looking forward to testing this out, seeing what all these different little characters are all about. Awesome. Yeah, just really cool. Love this art style. And again, I would have loved to see minis for this, but of course I'm a minis guy. I love minis, and again, I'm sure that would have been really expensive with as many characters as you can choose from within this. So the standees will work, and again, these are just really cool little characters. And again, on the back side, all these different little animals, and it'll be fun to see what that's all about. Okay, then we have the coins, and these are health coins and bonus, +1 bonus coins on the other side. And those are plastic, and then we have some metal coins for the different monetary values, and the plastic cubes, then all the different character standees again. For those, we have the little tokens for the, I believe these were the helpers, if I remember correctly. And then on the side, we have a really nice little bag with the emblem on it. Came out pretty decent. There's a little bit of breakup in the color, but not too bad. And it seems like it's a pretty decently made bag. And then we have a bunch of different tokens, the D12 gelatinous cube tokens, and all these other tokens for the GM. I'm not sure again what those are for yet. And then we have a bunch of wooden tokens as well, and these look like the different enemies they're going to run into throughout the game that have all kinds of different values. It looks like they're going to roll different numbered dice, or the different types of dice based on how difficult they are. There's a D20 +6, the blood dragon. Ooh, nasty. So those are going to be probably put in the bag, I think, and then randomized based on where the players are at, or maybe their player levels and stuff. And then we have some standees that have different things on them as well, and there's 4 different ones of these. Underneath that is a slot to place, or to store the little plastic standees for the different characters and such as well. And then again, I will try to show this, But again, on each one of the edges of the board, as you can see, you have the diagrams with the layout, which is really nice. Moving over to the expansion that came with this, it takes a village, and this is the first expansion to D6. So let's go ahead and jump in and see what's in this box. All right, so there's 3 more character or player tokens, and then more of the scenery tokens that you saw in the base game as well. Underneath that, and I did go ahead and assemble this already, so you have 3 of these card holders. So you'll place the cards in there, and then you can pull them out, and each one of them has the name of the deck of cards that'll go in there. So there's 3 of these that come with it. So there's one for the advantage cards, and these other 2 aren't labeled, so I'm not sure what those are, but I'm sure they're in the rule book as well. And then there's the standee for that. I'll show you where that goes in a minute. And then again, the player boards for these, the cleric, bard, and werewolf. So some cool new characters you can try out for the game. Tokens for those characters. They're all color coordinated again for the player characters. And then we have these little cardboard trays again that you will assemble when you punch them out of the punch boards. And this one I believe is for the coins. And then you have one for the health and some of the other tokens as well. And then this little piece fits in there as well for that one. So that's pretty cool. And this can come out for storage purposes. There we go. I'll put that off to the side. We have some new characters in here. I'll go through that. Again, I love the art style with these. And then on the back side, again, we have the different little animals, the birds from one of their other games, for those of you that are fans of Certifiable Studios. And then the different werewolves, and these are cool. You have like an undead one here, and then there's like a tiger with wings. There's different types of werewolves. So those will have different effects. These are the curse tokens. They look like different types of castles. Again, I don't know what they do. And then you have all the character standees as well, and some more of the tokens for those characters in this expansion. And then with both of these, again, on the side of the board, it shows how everything is laid out. So as you use them until you get familiar with them, the sides of the boards will reference that. And for this as well, when you punch out the punch boards, don't throw away those coverings. You'll actually place them underneath here to add some height to the boards to keep everything where it should be and not moving around. So make sure you do that when you are punching out those tokens for the first time. And the last thing I want to go over, I believe these were exclusive to the Kickstarter, but they may be available through other Kickstarter campaigns that Certifiable does. Sometimes they do that, or potentially add conventions and stuff. But I figured I'd show these, and these are the first time, as you can see, these are sealed, so I'll be able to check these out with you as we open these up. And then there was also a set of dice that were included, or that you could purchase for each one of these sets as well. And they look pretty nice. I like some of the effects in there. They've got the different colorings, and this is a pretty good size D20, so those are neat. And then each one of these is kind of themed as well. And I noticed this the other day when I was looking at it. I was reading the back description, and it was talking about some of them. And I was looking at it, I'm like, oh my goodness, these are the enemies from a particular movie I'm a huge fan of. I really enjoy, and I would have loved to see. And maybe they'll do this with one of the expansions, but obviously the 13 Warriors from that movie as well. So let me know in the comments below which movie this is from, if you can recognize these guys as well. I think they stand out pretty well, and they did a great job of capturing them. So let me know in those comments what movie that is from. So let's go ahead and start off with the Kraken Crew and take a look at what is in this case. If I can get into this easily enough without doing any damage to the inside stuff. So excited. I can't wait to see what this stuff looks like here. If I can get into it. Of course, I screwed that up. But let's see. Maybe? Okay, there we go. All right, so there's the punch board with the characters. And we have the 4 new character types and then their character cards. Love this art style again. Oh, that's awesome. Very neat. All right, so there is that. And the Eaters of the Dead. Maybe I'll have better luck with this one. All right, that's a better start. And then it peeled up again, of course. And come on. You guys are going to find this amusing just how hard I'm having to open these things. All right, so there we go. There's the 4 new characters and their new cards as well. Again, that's so cool. I love this. That is awesome. She even has the blade. Very cool. And look at that. That is so cool. A little teddy bear. Well, I hope you guys found that video helpful. If you have any questions or comments, drop those in the comments section below and I'll do my best to answer them. And as always, also let me know in the comments what else you would like to see, if there's anything else you'd like me to cover, or if you like or don't like this format of unboxing, let me know what I could do differently to make these better or more interesting if you don't care for it, or if I'm on the right track. Also, please let me know that. I love hearing from you guys and getting feedback so I can continue to make some of the best videos available. So as always, thank you for taking the time to watch my videos, leave me feedback on them. I really do appreciate it, and I take into account everything you say to make the best possible videos for you guys. And until next time, I'll see you later.